Hey guys, I'm MUT back here for the video, guys. Welcome back to episode of my daily sniping series. Let's get started with the way, guys. What I'm about is going to be, what is the state of Madden right now? So obviously now with the Christmas promo being out, with possibly us getting the rest of the promo very, very soon, what is the state of this game? Like, what should we expect? What is going to happen? What is not going to happen? As I'm pretty sure this Jordan Howard does not sell for 12,000 coins, so I'm not going to fall into that trap. But what is the state of this game right now? Well, this game right now is quite an interesting state. Now, this happens every year. This is not the first year this kind of is happening. Now, we're at a point where we're kind of done with the normal cards in the game. We're kind of at a point where we're on a kind of like a crossroads type of thing, where we start to get these higher overalls, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99 cards. And with that in mind, we kind of get into a point where everything else becomes almost worth nothing because of that fact. So what I mean by that is that, like right now, again, you know, 92s, 91s, 90s are really going down in price. Now, they're not like, you know, completely crashed, completely dead, but when we get the rest of the promo, they should be cut in half even more. So we should see even more of a market dip, and it kind of gets to a point, this is the time of the year where every market crash or every market dip, the market usually readjusts itself and goes back up to a certain value that is kind of more reasonable what it used to be. This time of year, we kind of see that opposite point of view happen. When the market goes down, it doesn't readjust itself back up anywhere near what it used to be. And the reason why is because we have new players coming out, new things coming out, a lot of new exciting things in the game. And when a lot of new exciting things come out in the game happen, these players pretty much become, I don't want to say washed up, but they become like, you know, not useful anymore. They're not really that great anymore. And we see this with the GOAT players being 90 overalls right now. You know, you can't really use a GOAT player in a game and actually, you know, him be successful really because of the fact that, you know, all these overalls, all these players are coming out, and it's just killing the market for that. So that is what we're at right now. Now, also what we're at is a lot of glitch plays in the game. We have a lot of things in the game that doesn't really make sense. Obviously, if you don't have unfakeable, you're pretty much in a hole because you're not able to, you know, you get faked out pretty much every single time. So that's definitely something that's really annoying, and also something that's, you know, kind of ruining the game is you have to have unfakeable. Now, the fact that there's not many players with unfakeable kind of limits your amount of possibilities, and also limits the amount of players you can have on your team with unfakeable. Now, the good thing is, if you do want to go ahead and get unfakeable, you can at all the linebackers positions and the left end, and if you work it right, you can also get your right end to be Bo Jackson and get actually no, sorry, not right end. You can get your strong safety as what's his name? Ken Houston. You can get your free safety, I believe, at the Colts guy. And then you can get a cornerback with unfakeable in Bo Jackson. So you could go ahead and get almost every single defensive position except for the defensive line, all to have unfakeable. But again, it's getting to a point where that is almost a must-have. And even with unfakeable, you know, the juke moves, the spin moves, sometimes they still are able to get it on you if you're not using the guy. So that's the state we're at right now. There's a lot of stuff happening at once when it comes to new cards in the game, and old cards are starting to kind of become phased out of the game. They're starting to slowly die off and not be as useful as they used to be. Now, there's one thing I've been saying this, and I've been saying this a lot when it comes to like talking to friends about Madden, is I feel like players don't matter. Now, listen to what I'm saying. Stats matter, but players don't. Now, you might hear that and go, what does that even mean? That doesn't even make sense. Stats matter. If your guy has 94 speed, 95 catching, 97 route running, that matters, right? Player doesn't. Now, what I mean by that is, if you watch Randy Moss, right, you watch Randy Moss highlights, you will see that he mossed everyone. I mean, literally, the term moss is because of him. He mossed everyone. He would go over top of everyone. He would destroy them. He would just completely just outrun them every single play, and no one could ever stop him to a certain degree, and that's because he was the best receiver of all time, one of the best receivers of all time, and that's just how it worked, right? Well, that same concept is not applying to Madden, okay? You have to get animations, right? That's how you get touchdowns. That's how you get catches. That's how you get everything. You get animations. Now, Moss is not going to get any animation more animations because his name is Randy Moss than his name being Michael Irvin or his name being Deion Sanders wide receiver card or being anything else. He's not going to get any more animations than those cards. It's all based on stats. If he hits the thresholds, he gets elite animations. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So with that in mind, that's what I'm starting to realize more and more is like, if you don't pay $200K or $500K for Randy Moss because he's Randy Moss, buy someone with the same stats but a lesser name and you can get for half price. And I know that's like a common thing that's been kind of around Madden forever, but it's just like, I think a lot of times we get confused by that, you know? We're playing Madden and we want to play with the Randy Moss because we know what he did in real life. We know how he played in real life. And I feel like a lot of times, you know, as you know, just as Madden fans, as football fans, we get confused. So that's kind of the state of that mind. Is like I feel like we have to just realize, like, again, when you're buying a player, do not buy the name, buy the stats. And you know, I don't know. So that's something else. Is like I'm really starting to realize stats matter, player doesn't. So that's another state of mind. And again, a lot of stuff going through my mind whenever I play this game. I feel like I have a lot of stuff going through my mind of, you know, like, oh, hey, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And obviously, the age-old thing is like, when you play Madden, you're going to rage like 10 out of 10 times or 12 out of 10 times because of how all the bullcrap that happens. And I don't know. I mean, I try not to complain about Madden too much just because, you know, all the stuff that happens. This is like I kind of think of Madden as a random number generator, right? It's a random outcomes. A random number generator means it could be a random number from, you know, one certain amount to another certain amount, and there's no predictions on what's going to happen. I feel like that's how Madden works, and it's not about you having a 95 overall player or you having a 60 overall player. I feel like it's more about just random. You know, it's all random, and the higher overall you have, the better animations, well, the better chances you have at animations. But that doesn't mean you're going to 100% beat someone. Let's say you have a 96 overall middle linebacker. I played someone with a 93 overall middle linebacker. I had 60 overall Rob Gronkowski, the free card you get, and he completely mossed the 93 overall guy and destroyed him, threw him to the ground, and he got like a 20-yard touchdown. That's because it's all random animations. So it's just like, it's getting weird, guys. It's getting weird when it comes to that kind of stuff because it's difficult to buy a team, spend $6 million, $7 million, $5 million on a team, and you know, you're not really doing anything to make your team's not really much better than your opponent's team, no matter what their team looks like, because if they get a random animation, they can win a game. If they get a random, you know, catch, they can win a game. If your guy randomly throws a bad pass, they can win a game. And I know that's just, you know, that's basic. That's football. You know, football is random. You never know what's going to happen. But I feel like, you know, in real football, when you have a Julio Jones and you have a, who's the wide receiver I can think of? Mohamed Sanu. You expect a Mohamed Sanu to not catch the ball as much of a Julio Jones would, as you know, you don't expect those two guys to have the same catches, to catch the ball the same. And, you know, every receiver has a certain catch style. Every receiver does certain things when they catch the ball. They, you know, they should have, and I feel like in a way they should have their own animations. You know, like an Odell Beckham will have a different animation than a Randy Moss. Randy Moss is going to get an animation where he's going to jump up and try to moss the guy. You know, another guy might have an animation where he just does something else. And I feel like that's something they need to add into the game. I know it's a lot to add with every single player, and then going through the coding and, you know, adding, okay, this Moss is going to moss people. What else animation would he get? And I know that's a lot, but I feel like that's the only way to make these players actually a reason to get a player. Like, at this point, there's no reason to get a certain player if they're not going to have animations for that certain player. Like, if I get Moss, I should get Moss, and I should be able to get, you know, a Moss animation. I should be able to get an animation where he catches the ball one-handed behind the guy's back. You know, some crazy animations, and that's why I spend 500,000 coins for that Moss. I don't spend 500,000 coins for a card that's going to get the same animations as my 100k Michael Irvin, my 70k Jarvis Landry. It's just, I don't know. Again, it might just be me ranting, guys, and me just, like, saying blah, 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 blah. But, guys, tell me down below what you guys think. I'd love to hear it, because this is just how I'm feeling about Madden, the state of Madden right now. I feel like it's weird. I don't want to say I dislike it, but it's just a really weird state, and I really hope they change this with the updates and everything gets fixed. But thank you guys for watching. Peace out.